Hi everybody, it's Irene at Lifestyle Over 60. We're doing a get ready with me today. We're going to the Polo Lounge for lunch. I'm going to do my makeup and talk to you. And thank you, by the way, for helping me choose an outfit. We did a video a few days ago and you guys helped me. Thanks. So I'll show you what I chose and take you with me to the Polo Lounge. So let's go. Well, I'm going to share my basic makeup routine with you guys and hopefully it will be helpful to you. I don't do a lot of fancy ass stuff. And so here's what I do. I use this Cinema Secrets makeup base that I have been using since my wedding. We just celebrated our 31st wedding anniversary, so a really long time. And it comes in a little tub like this, so it's not a liquid. It's kind of a, it's not even a paste, it's harder than that. And then you just grab a little bit on your spatula and put it on your mixing palette. It needs a little bit of water to mix with in order for it to be the right consistency to put on your skin. So what you also need if you use this kind of makeup is a little palette that Cinema Secrets, by the way, sells all this stuff, and if I can find it to link for you, I will. Okay, next important step to keep in mind is that I use like a sponge, a little latex sponge. And you want to have a wet sponge. If you're a sponge user, you want it to be wet. If you try to make this work with a dry sponge, it's going to be a little cakey on your face. All right, so you take your wet sponge and you take your mixed up wet makeup base and apply it. I don't put concealer on first. I put it on after. And sometimes you think, well, I'm going to really need concealer to cover like this red mark right here. And I probably will. But then sometimes after you put on your makeup base, it goes away. The makeup base is enough to cover everything. So why waste it, right? Not that cheap, but I am lazy and I do not like to do a lot of extra steps if I don't have to, you know what I mean? All right, so put on our makeup base. While I'm doing this, thought I would tell you some of my Polo Lounge stories from the past. Some of them are kind of fun, and some of them are weird, so yeah. All right, I've been to the Polo Lounge many times in my life, and today I'm taking my girlfriend who, we've been friends since high school. She's turning 70 next week. Yeah. And so I am taking her to the Polo Lounge for her 70th birthday. It's kind of a big deal, you know. And I wanted it to be special for her, so we're not going to McDonald's or anything. All right, anyway, back to the makeup really quick, and then I'll go back to my Polo Lounge stories. Okay, so once you have your makeup base on and you feel like, yeah, it's pretty well covering what you want to cover, then I assess it for, do I need concealer? This is fun, guys. I hope you're enjoying watching me do this and hearing me talk. All right, so the concealer that I use is Natasha Denona. Natasha Denona. And yeah, I can see, yeah, you know what, there's a little darkness on the side of my eye. You know, anywhere that there's a little bit of darkness or I want to add light, it's good. You know, there was a makeup artist that used to do Marilyn Monroe. His name was Whitey. And she called him Whitey because he used a lot of white on her in strategic places that, you know, how she looked, right? So he did her makeup for her funeral. She told him that she really wanted him to do that if she died before him, and he did. Anyway, I don't know how I got off on that. Back to the Polo Lounge. So I was there, I think, with the same friend and a couple of other friends. This is a long time ago. And the bathroom, if you need to use it, is kind of outside of the Polo Lounge. So you have to kind of walk down this hall into the main lobby area of it's in the Beverly Hills Hotel. So you're in the main lobby area of the Beverly Hills Hotel. Anyway, so we're wrapping up our dinner and I have to go to the bathroom. And so I head there and I walk out of the Polo Lounge and I'm in this sort of hallway. And there is Phil Spector. Okay, this is before he killed someone. And it was before we knew just how crazy Phil Spector was. Although, what an odd looking guy. What an odd looking guy. He had on this huge wig, you know, like huge, like high and like sort of, it was grayish, curly-ish hair, but it was huge. So he's wearing this huge wig. And then he's got this Nehru jacket on, really small guy, kind of short, very strange looking, glasses. And he is totally checking me out. He was like, yeah, totally checking me out. And I'm like, guys, Lana Clarkson could have been me. Not that I would have ever gone anywhere with him. He looked too creepy, honestly. But yeah, Polo Lounge story number 1. Okay, on to the makeup. And we are doing our powder. This is Makeup Forever high definition translucent powder. And I just use a, you know, fluffy old brush and pat it on. I am a very oily skinned person and I shine. Okay, I know in a lot of my videos I'm shining right now because of the light too, because I have to use a pretty hot light. It's not that I'm sweating, it's just that it reflects any kind of glow, any kind of moisture is gonna shine. So I do the powder and I will probably have to repowder before I leave, but that's to show you guys what I do so that I have kind of a matte base going now. And then contour. Now people vary in their idea of whether or not to contour. I like to. Why not? As long as you do it subtly and you don't have a big old like dark line going under your cheek, I think it looks good. So I use this brush, which is just like a little contoury brush. And this is Master Contour by Maybelline. So I don't use anything fancy at all with my products. I think I got my brushes at Sephora, also nothing fancy. Okay, and there's 3 colors on this. There's the highlighter and the blush and the contour. I don't use this highlighter ever, so I'm just going to use, going into the darker shade a little bit, just along the line of my cheek right there. It just sort of makes it look a little more hollowed out, as if I was thinner than I am. And then I put a little on the sides of my forehead right here, one little cross there, and then just along the bottom to kind of give the illusion that I have a good jawline. That's all the contour I do. Then for blush, I use a different brush. It's good to have different brushes and it's good to clean them often. I bet you haven't cleaned your brushes in a long time. I know, I'm talking to myself. All right, anyway, so we go into the red color and I just put it, you know, on the apple of your cheek, they say. Make your cheek into little apples. Put it on the middle. And then I use that too, where I put the contour on either side and along my jawline. And now I'm all ready to do my eyes. Okay, for the eyes, I start with the eyebrows, and I am using Total Temptation eyebrow pencil in blonde by, this is also Maybelline. Okay, so I'm using the, you know, pretty much drugstore stuff. Comes with a brush on one side and then the pencil on the other. So I brush my little brows up. I don't know about you guys, but as I've gotten older, my brows don't grow like they used to, which is, you know, kind of a plus, right? I don't have to pluck them ever. There's just not that much going on. Plus they're blonde, as you can see. I look like I don't have any eyebrows. Yeah, so I brush them up, and then this is kind of, has a little bit of an angle, like a little pencil. You can see. And it's not hard to use, which is why I like this particular eyebrow pencil. All right, so then just, you want to arch it kind of just wherever your natural arch is. You don't want to draw on anything too bizarre because it's going to look weird, you know. So I basically just follow my natural brow, and I'm just kind of filling it in. And then let's go back to a Polo Lounge story while I do this. I was there another time with the screenwriter who wrote the screenplay for a movie called Casino Jack, which was George Hickenlooper's last film with Kevin Spacey. And it was an excellent film. If you ever come across it, it's worth watching. It was really well done. And the screenwriter asked me to have a drink with him for some reason, so I'm like, okay. So we went to the Polo Lounge. And it was fun, and it was an enjoyable conversation. And while there, James Lipton walked by our table. Do you guys know who James Lipton was? He's passed on now. But he used to do a show called, like The Actors, something about the actors. And he would interview very famous actors, movie stars, and ask them questions that people never asked them. And one of his favorite questions to ask was, what is your favorite swear word? And so, you know, different celebrities would answer. Anyway, so he's walking by our table and he's totally like looking at me like, who are you? You know, and kind of like a long look. And I really wanted to say, it's Mofo. But I didn't. I had to kind of hold myself back because I really wanted to tell him my favorite swear word. Anyway, that's another Polo Lounge story. It's very Hollywood, very Hollywood. Now, eyeliner, and if I can read this in this lighting, I will, otherwise I will put it. Okay, it's Inks, I-N-K-S by Urban Decay, and I have the black. I love this eyeliner because I don't know if you can see, but it's a very small little brush. And it's a liquid, and so it's really easy to apply. So one of the things with eyeliner you want to do is you want to try to get it as close to your lashes as possible, because a really dark line, if I can do this while speaking, a really dark line along the base of your lashes is going to be aging. So can you see this? It's just a really, really subtle line, and it leaves some lid for me to put shadow on. This takes practice, and I just recommend that you just keep trying it, you know, and have, always have, when you're doing your makeup, little Q-tips on board, because if you screw up and you don't have those ready, you're going to have a problem because it will dry on you, and then it's really hard to get off, and then you end up taking your makeup base off and the whole thing, and what a mess. Okay, so now I do my eyeshadow, and I am using CoverGirl's True Naked Nudes. And as you can see, I've used it quite a bit. So, yeah, drugstore makeup, that's kind of it. I don't think there's a lot of difference, to be honest, between the high-end brands and the lower-end brands. The packaging is different, but that's about it. You know. All right, so for shadow, I do this, and I don't know if this is a regular thing or what, but so for shadow, I like to go into the light first, and I just use the brush that comes with the thing. So I go light first, and I like to think like Whitey from Marilyn Monroe, and I put white on my whole eyelid and cover the lid with a white. And that just seems to kind of brighten everything up a little bit and make it look like I have more eyelid going on than I do. And then I put a little bit of the white under my brow. And I learned that from Anastasia, the famous eyebrow lady I used to go to. You just sort of highlight. She has a pencil that she sells, a white pencil that you use, but shadow works just as well. So I put that under the brow. Then we're going to go a little bit darker, and I like to just use this middle shade right here. Okay, so it's not like super dark. I don't like makeup to show. I mean, obviously I have makeup on, but you don't really want people to see makeup. You know, I mean, some people do, at least around here in LA. All right, let me just, before I tell you this, let me just show you what I'm doing. So I'm putting this slightly darker shade in the crease area, and carrying it up a little bit on the side. And what that does, and I'm going to mix a slightly darker shade in with it too. Don't be afraid to mix your eyeshadow if you have a palette like I'm working with. You know, because sometimes one color is just going to be way too dark and another color is going to be too light, but if you mix them together, it's perfect. Okay, and so now it's kind of a mess because it's darker on this side than that eye and it's not blended yet. But don't worry. Worry not. This is the normal part of doing makeup. I have this little brush that I use to blend shadow with. Blush. It's just a little soft round brush. And I just run that over where my shadow is. And it blends it. And so it doesn't really look like eyeshadow anymore. It just kind of looks like, yeah, she has makeup on, but it's not overwhelming. Anyway, what I was going to say is that there are a lot of gals walking around here who are wearing like eyelashes that look like monster spiders. Like, I don't know what they have going. It looks like 10 pairs of eyelashes on, and I know that's not what it is. It could be just extensions that they're doing, but a lot of women are walking around with a whole lot of eyelash lately, and I don't know. What do you think of that, guys? I'm not a fan, but a whole lot of women like it. Okay, we're ready for mascara, but before we mascara, we are going to curl the lashes. Really important step. The eyelash curler. For some reason, the eyelash curler reminds me of some sort of old torture device, you know, like it's the rock for eyelashes. You guys know how to use the eyelash curler, right? You just put it right up to your eye, squish, and hold for a little bit. You know, you don't just squish it real hard. You don't want to break your lashes. And it's got a rubberized thing, so it won't break them. But you just don't need to do it real hard. And then the mascara that I am using lately is by Counter, C-O-N-T-E-R. It's supposed to be a brand that uses real clean products. And what I do if I'm really going to do my makeup like I'm doing for you guys is I start by doing this sideways motion to the tips of the lashes, which colors just the outside. Okay, and then I just start brushing up. If I really wanted to be fancy, I would have put a coat on the other side of the lash looking down, but I have a high chance of screwing everything up if I do that by getting mascara on my skin. And so to avoid that today, I am going to pass on that step. And I suppose there's a way to do it where you don't get it on your skin, but I'll be damned if I can figure it out. Okay, so then we just apply our mascara to our curled lashes. And now we are ready for lips. Okay, for lips, I am using NYX lip liner in Peekaboo Neutral. And I don't just line it. I just kind of color in my whole lip. I don't love the look of lip liner on me. You know how women sometimes, maybe some of you like it, you do it, but you do like a really, I'm going to do it right now just as part of what I'm doing, like a really harsh lip line. To me, on me, it's kind of aging. And so rather than do like a whole lip line, I just kind of fill in the whole lip with the liner. And the liner will last a lot longer than the lipstick does. So it gives you like a base that will hang out even during lunch. Okay, and this is a really like a Peekaboo Neutral, like you can barely see it, but it's there enough to give me a little bit of color. And then for my lipstick, I use Revlon Smoky Rose. It's number 245. I'm trying to get away from Revlon and use Counter because there is lead in a lot of our lipsticks. However, I like this color so much and I have a lot of it left. So I do intend to switch it over once I'm done. You don't want to be eating lead. And when you apply lipstick, you do ingest a fair amount of it, especially over time, because lead builds up in your system. Anyway, enough of that. So that's it, guys. This is my full makeup, and we're going to get dressed, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to wear, and then we're going to go to the Polo Lounge. I'll take photos and video if I can. They are real fussy about people taking photos and videos there because they have a lot of famous guests, and I think hotels in general are kind of like, they don't want photos of their guests just in case somebody's there who shouldn't be with someone they shouldn't be with, or God knows what. Yeah, so I'll do my best though to show you what it's like. Okay, everybody, well, this is what the final result looks like. Thank you guys so much for voting for this outfit. I did a video a few days ago, and I will link it somewhere for you. And I asked you all to help me choose which outfit to wear today between this one and two others. And this outfit number one overwhelmingly won for which outfit to wear. And so it's going to the Polo Lounge with us today. This is a silk, 100% silk top from the brand Joy or Joie. I do not know how to pronounce it. Joie. And I cannot link this top, I'm sorry, because I got it at Marshall's. But if I can find something similar, I'll link it for you. Anyway, so this top won, and then these are my Blue Salt black pants, which I have a whole video on these pants I can link for you as well. They are fantastic pants. I just love them so much. They're so comfortable and easy to wear, and just I think they look great. And we're going to bring our Chanel medium flat bag because this is the Polo Lounge, and it's kind of old Hollywood glamour, you know, so it's upscale, and it's definitely not, it's a lot more conservative than a lot of the places in LA. So here you have me. And I'm going to bring you guys with me, like I said in the video, as much as I can. You know, they're a little fussy there about taking photos. So I'll do what I can discreetly. And again, thank you for voting for the outfit. And let's go.